up your jigs and sinkers. So what you're going to do is look at your directions. Down at the bottom, it talks about painting of them. Inside of this box, you're going to have everything that you need, all the tools. So don't be grabbing the tools from when you actually poured the jigs and sinkers. Inside of here, there are going to be little racks that you are able to put your jigs on so they don't fall. You are also going to find some sandpaper inside of here. You will find different types of a powder coat. We have all different fun colors that you can choose from, so use any one you want. The only thing is you cannot mix those colors. Once you mix them, then it's ruined them all. So make sure you do not mix those colors. You're also going to find some needle nose pliers. We need to use a heat gun to heat up our jigs before we dip them into the powder coat. This heat gun kind of reminds me of like a toaster, but then there's a fan blowing the heat out. So it does get very hot in front of it. You're not going to want to hold it with your hand. You will burn your fingers. So make sure that you use the needle nose pliers that are inside of this container. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do, all right, safety again, making sure everything is out of your way. Then you're going to take your hooks off of your foam. Again, you need to be very careful when you do this that you don't hook yourself. Remember when we cut off the sprues and risers on the top? So now your stuff has a little mohawk on it. We need to sand that off. Very easy. Take your piece of sandpaper, hold here. You don't want to hold right on the hook. You might stab yourself. So you're just going to hold right at the neck of the jig, and we're simply going to use the sandpaper to round off the top of the head of our jig. Then you hang it on our little drying rack. Do the same thing with all of your hooks so it looks nice and rounded. It doesn't have to look 100% perfect. A lot of the paint will cover that up, but you want to get it so that little mohawk is gone. Now I went ahead, oops, I got one more. Thought I did a couple of them. So you're just simply going to sand that, and then we will paint. Now, while some people are using this in class, you can also be sanding your sinkers. To do that, when you have your sinkers, you're going to notice there's a little slit. Well, if you've ever fished before, that's where you put your line and you squeeze it closed. So when I go to sand this, I don't want to sand my fingertips. So what I like to do is grab a pair of the needle nose pliers, and I'm going to go on the edge of the little groove. If I put it like this, it's going to pinch it closed. I don't want to do that. So make sure you're on the edge, and then you simply hold it like this, and then you go ahead and you're going to sand all of your pieces so they're nice and round. Now, our sinkers, we do not paint. We're only painting the jigs, all right? So you're just going to go ahead and sand all of your sinkers while other people are painting. Once you have them done, you can place them back in your bag for when you come to turn them in. All right, so these are all done. Hang them on my rack real quick. So you can choose. You can do all of your jigs, whatever color you want. If you want them all the same color, or if you want to do a couple of them. I have a blue here, a yellow, an orange, a pink, all different types of colors, okay? So to do this, we're going to turn our heat gun on. When you do this, make sure the gun is pointing away from you. Again, it gets very hot, so I don't want it pointing directly at me. I like to put newspaper down, so this way, when I dip into the powder and I mix it around a little bit, I don't want the powder to get all over the table. So much easier for cleanup. So make sure you get some paper towel and put it down. Move my stuff out of the way. I make sure I have the lids open. Alrighty. And now I'm going to take my needle nose plier, grab one of my jigs by the hook part, and I'm simply going to heat it up for just a few seconds. I'm moving it around. Alright. I have seen it when people put this too close and leave it too long in front of it that the lead actually will melt off. So now I have it like this. I'm going to take my powder and I'm simply going to dip it around in there, tap it on the edge, place it back in front of the heat, and voila, it's nice and shiny. Very hot, don't touch. Hang it up. I'm going to go ahead, grab my next one. When you're doing this, be careful to space them out on your hook. If you have them too close to each other and they touch, they will stick to each other. So I'll demonstrate one more. Again, I heat it up for about 5 seconds or so. Take my paint at an angle and I simply just kind of twist it around on the inside, tap it along the edge to get any excess off, and I place it back in front of the heat. As you place it back in front of the heat, you're going to notice that it tends to get shiny. That's just sealing up the rest of the paint. So we'll do one more. Grab the hook, heat it up. Grab my paint. Again, you see that? And I just mix it around in there. Tap it off along the edge. Make sure it all melts back on there. Hang it up to dry. Now, these do not take long to dry at all. This first one, what did I do that less than a minute ago? I can lift this up and it is completely dry. Might be a little bit warm to the touch, but that's not gonna burn you or anything like that. So then once you have all of your jigs painted, put them back on the foam. Get your bag of your sinkers and you're gonna turn that in for a grade. If you have any questions at all, please make sure to ask. Once you get your stuff done, make sure you clean everything up as well. Any questions? Ask. Thanks.